Hey guys, in this video we're going to be doing an aerial video edit, so let's get into it. Alright, so we have Final Cut Pro open here. I'm going to go ahead and start a new library just for this particular aerial video. But like I said, you don't have to create a new library every time. Usually it's just a new project. So we're going to call this one Aerial Video 2. And then we're going to hit Command N. We're going to deliver a 1080p 24 frame per second project to our customer. I'm just going to name the project Aerial Video 2. Hit enter. Next step is to bring in your footage. So I have all the aerial video clips right here in this folder. So we're just going to hit Command A and drop them on the timeline. They're all right here. Some people may prefer to scrub through here and then just drop them on the timeline. I like to just drop it all on the timeline and scrub through the potential clips that I'm going to use. All right. Now let's see here. All right. So let me move this out of the way here. Let me just put it over here. All right, so what we did here, we actually had some time. We did a twilight at this particular house, and we had a little bit of time between our photos. So we did take some aerial video clips towards twilight as well. This was shot with a Mavic Air 2. So the low light performance isn't as good as the Mavic 2 Pro. And we did this as a training video, so in a lot of the shots you can see that me and the videographer are just standing out front of the property. If you're really shooting this for delivery to the customer, this particular agent just ordered the aerial photos, but you want to make sure that you're out of the shots that you're doing. It's a lot easier just to edit yourself out in photos than it is for video, so that's very important. I just wanted to say that before I started, but anyways, so I like to hit record once and then just fly around getting as much shots as I can. Here, that's exactly what I did. Usually an aerial video is, it could be a minute to 2 minutes. Usually I'm around a minute depending on the particular property and what's going on. I'd much rather have a shorter aerial video than a longer one that just kind of repeats clips or different shots. You want it to be interesting and diverse. So what I'm going to do right now is just go through and cut just shots that are potential. All right, so we can see like right there, boom, cut that. So I'm going to get rid of this first shot, and then I'm just gonna, all right, now where do I go to the next? All right, so right here I have a vertical shot. I mean, that's a potential use. All right, it's a pretty short. Let me zoom in, hit Command and then plus. You'll be able to zoom in. So all right, so this was a transitional clip, so I'm gonna get rid of that. All right, so that's the vertical. So I'm just really just skimming for potential. All right, so hold down B, clip it, or sorry, cut it, I meant. Now we'll just go, all right, before we turn, clip right there. And then this one right here is a transitional clip, so I'm gonna get rid of that. And then let's go to the next. All right, this right here looks usable. All right, let me go ahead and cut that, get rid of this shot or portion of the clip. All right, let's just go until it's not usable anymore. There we go, until I transition. Now let's cut. And now we'll go to the start of the next potentially usable clip. Let's see, this doesn't. All right, looks like I was trying to get, all right, this is good right there. Let me see. But up until that point, it's not really usable. This right here looks good, so I'm gonna start right here. I'm gonna get rid of what was prior, and then just, that's probably a good potential ending shot. I like that shot. All right. I keep going backwards, but that was, all right, now I was just, I guess this is potential as well. So I'm just gonna use this as well. All right, when I start spinning like crazy, it's not usable anymore. let's see, I'm just trying to set up the next shot. All right, now we have an up-down shot just over the top of the home. So I'm just gonna go until the shot ends, which is right there. All right, here we go. All right, right here is it. So like this is a couple of shots, right? So we have just the views of the mountain. And I think when the horizon dips back down, then I adjust my camera down. And now this is a different shot focused on the golf course. So let me cut here. Get rid of that. And then just see where this shot goes. I don't like it once it hits the sun too much. I think that's probably good right there. Now let's keep going. All right, none of this is usable. Let's keep going. Just going. All right. Now I think the drones, now it transitions to another file because I think it stops at like 3.76 gigs. Now let's see. Not usable anything quite yet. All right, this shot right here, actually not too bad. You're getting kind of the other direction. But where do I want to clip it to start? All right, that's fine. We'll cut it right there. That looks good. All this is potentially usable. So I'm just going to keep going until I stopped, which is right about in the middle of the house. And now let me just keep scrubbing. So now I'm kind of dipping into the home. I like it to the point where I start to kind of fade up. Looks like I was just kind of ballooning up. Let's see if that's where I see myself completely in the video. All right. But regardless, that's not really that usable there. All right, so that's going to be it for those daytime shots. So we have about 2 minutes worth of clips, which is sufficient. All right, now we just have this. So I'm going to start at the front, cut and get rid of that first part, and then go back. When does it start to get not so smooth? Probably right there. All right. And it already looks pretty noisy. I don't know. Let's see here. I do come back at the house, it looks like. So this is still potentially usable if it's smooth. Yeah, this actually doesn't look bad. Now let's keep going here. All right, I don't think any of this is usable. Yeah, no. Looks like potentially one clip. I mean, just that front looking shot from an aerial video perspective. All right, so let me get rid of that. So it might just be a good idea to end with an aerial, with a twilight shot, just kind of an ending, just, oh, nice, I see, now I kind of see what it looks like at twilight. Now, the time of day that we shot this was, this agent ordered a twilight shoot, so we were there pretty late. Ideally, if you're doing an aerial video, it definitely looks better earlier in the day. Not so many shadows running around, and just the white balance and the colors just look much, much better the greenery stands out better, just an overall better looking video. But if this is all you got, you know, that's what you got. All right. So now I'm just going to go through. What I'm going to do right now is just duplicate the project so I can always go back if I need to. Let's go. And I'm just going to go through again, just skim. And kind of, so it's not really too much. We really only have about 2 minutes worth of footage, and that's before we speed it up. So this video, in my opinion, will be about 40 seconds. We'll see what it turns out to be. But anyways, right here we can either start far away and come into the house, which we have one car over here that's driving. You just don't want to show cars moving backwards. And it actually doesn't look, you can't really tell, so let's reverse that one. So we'll reverse the clip. I think it's a lot easier to fly backwards versus from high up and try to get this shot going the opposite direction. All right, that's good. So that's probably where it stops getting interesting. And then let's see. All right, that short little clip isn't really usable. Let me zoom in, Command plus. All right, so now let me skip ahead here. Right there is probably the end of my interest, so 3.5 seconds. This is a cool shot. I think I probably went really far beyond the house, so you can see the house. But I'm thinking if we blade speed this, it really doesn't get too interesting. It's almost like we should blade speed it. All right, so we start, and then from here, hit Shift B, and then we could kind of roll out just beyond the house right here. B. Here, let's see. All right, let's see what we got. And then just stop it once you feel like it's not interesting anymore. So this clip I think is pretty good. Not gonna reverse it because you see the cars moving. All right, that looks pretty smooth. This is another one that would definitely need a blade speed. So Shift B, bring it out when it starts to come out, right there. All right, custom. We'll try the same percentage, 800. Not sure if that's ideal for this clip. That looks good right about until there. So that's a 7-second clip. That's a 5-6 second. All right. Now this one's kind of too crazy. Can't really use that. Get rid of that. Top down shot. Pretty simple. I don't want to blade speed it just because I have a couple blade speeds right there. You could, or we can start out a little bit higher up. I think we're probably a little bit too close. Starting right here just to kind of get an idea. All right, there's not many houses around it. That's probably a long enough clip. 4 seconds. Aerial clips can sometimes, they can be longer than like a walkthrough video clip in a room because they can just be interesting. It just depends how interesting the shot is. This is another one where we just want to kind of roll out. I'll blade speed it here. And when we watch it back, we might be like, we need to relax on those blade speeds. Let's do 800%. Seems like that's been working. Seems kind of fast. Let me just slow this portion down a little bit. Let me just see what it looks like. And you can see how it looks like it's a little bit choppy. I think right here, let me see. Let me see if optical flow will do anything, or even if it is an option here. So let's go here, rate conforming, optical flow. All right, so it's analyzing for optical flow. You can see, so it just might make the clip a little bit smoother. I think we were shooting, let me see if it'll tell us what we were shooting. So if we go over here to the info, we were shooting at 30 frames per second, 4K, which I think is as fast of a 4K frame rate as the Mavic Air does while shooting HDR mode. You can shoot regular mode. We like better dynamic range, so that's why we shoot HDR. All right. That's actually a cool view. I actually didn't lose interest after 6 seconds. This one's a little wild out there. I don't know how. Let me see if we use any of this. Maybe we start here. So let me move it here. I don't like how it transitions all the way around. I think that's too long of a clip. And I don't want to blade speed again. I think that was pretty good. You can see how not smooth the transition from this clip to the next one. So when you see like, you know, some drastic transitions like that from one clip to another, that's where we'll want to use a transition. I mean, is this last clip even interesting? For about 3.5 seconds. All right, that's what we got there. This is funny because I think I'm gonna get rid of this shot and I'm gonna reverse this one and come away from the house. Almost like you're leaving the property to end and you're left with that view in the background to leave the property. So, all right. So we chose the clip. Now let's reverse the clip. Let's take a look. And I think like a nice subtle transition out is good. And we're actually right at 1 minute from where we're at. Obviously we could clean it up and change it a little bit. Actually, I didn't even touch this first one. This is a full 10 seconds. I think this is too long. So So let's shift B, let's blade speed this thing, and then kind of come out right here. And why not do 800%? At least keep those blade speeds consistent. All right, so we're opening the video. Oh, nice views. Now we're zooming in on this house. That looks good. Transitioning to, all right, cool. There's some golf courses in the area. But I think that golf course shot isn't in the right spot. We go too fast with it. Like, we got to kind of make our way to the golf course. And it's got to make sense. Like, all right, so this makes sense. We're making our way to the property. And now we're above. We got a higher elevation view. Now we can kind of see, all right, there's some pretty awesome shots around this property. Now we're looking at another direction. Hey, this is a pretty awesome house. On this top-down shot, I'm not so sure about. I feel like after that, it needs that panning shot, which is kind of a lot. Look how many blade speed shots we have. That's probably too many, but you know, they're all pretty smooth, so I don't think they're too distracting. And they're longer shots. And we got this. And another blade speed. And you can see that optical flow seemed to smooth it out quite a bit. It's not perfect, but it's not distracting. So when we go from here, look, we can see the golf course. We can see a golf course at least. And now we transition to the golf course shots, not the house. Maybe we end coming back in over that horizontal shot. We got this. Now we're at the golf course. Now, yeah, to the golf course, to this panning shot of the golf course. We're focused on the golf course. All right, now the opposite direction. Coming back to the property. And coming down. And this one we would want, you see how we're coming down from the property on this one right here? And I would probably reverse this one. I think it's going to look better. Let's reverse this one. Reverse clip. So we're panning. Now we're coming down, and we're still coming down. And then maybe we fade to a black or something, and now this feels a little bit fast. We shot it at 30. I don't know how well optical flow does. I'm not sure how well optical flow does in these low light ones. Let me see. You know what? Maybe we just start a little further away from the house. Let's see. Boom. Now we're just fading out. Maybe a little bit more if we got it. Let's see what we got. Does the shot continue? Boom. Yeah. Let's see. So we're coming down. We'll transition. Now we're just fading away. Then we'll cut to the agent information. All right, so let's go to our assets here. And I'm just going to go to the titles. We'll do the property videos. We'll do the intro. And we'll do the outro here. And then we'll go to our generators and drop our logo here at the end, which I'll stack it a little bit so it doesn't take so long to come in. All right. So now I'm going to watch this video with no music just to kind of see how I feel about it. You know, is it engaging from a viewer perspective? I really like the views. This seems like a great potential for, you know, great aerial shots. Let me see it. On this one shot, I feel like the blade is a little bit too long. So either, let me speed it up a little bit. Whoops. Here, let me zoom in here. So it's at 800%. Let's make it faster just for this particular clip. Maybe 1200. Enter. And because you can see the size of these blade speed gaps here, the purple, and it was like too long on this clip. There we go. Just kind of a consistent look. Golf course, higher view. And it's interesting how we got a lot of some of these shots just all in the same one, but we're using them in different parts of the video. So we're coming down, still coming down. Now we're coming out, leaving the property. I think it's pretty good. Let me watch it again from the top because I was thinking about other things other than just viewer engagement here. Now you can add some elements of, some additional elements to your clips to make them a little bit more interesting. And maybe I'll do that on one of these simple, not these blade speed ones, but maybe this one or this one. Probably just the straight on regular flight looking shots. Maybe this one, which we'll use, we'll just zoom in on the footage a little bit. Since we shot in 4K, we're delivering in 1080, we have a lot of room. Maybe even that last shot right there, where we can just add a little bit of spice to these regular looking shots. So what we want to do, we basically use keyframes, scale and position. So if we're just going to be scaling in or scaling out, so we set the keyframe, and then I'm going to go to the last frame of the shot, and then I'm going to zoom it in here. Sorry, here, let me adjust the scale. All right, so now it's going to, between the first frame and the last frame, it's going to scale in oh so slightly. And it's going to be pretty subtle. Like you couldn't even tell hardly anything. But if you want to go back to that keyframe, you just click on this button here. So we were at 112. If you want to see it more dramatic, let's say 145. This is a short clip, so that's going to be too much, but watch, you'll see what it does. You see how it just kind of adds some, like an additional element, which actually doesn't look bad. I'll probably just reduce it a little bit from 145 maybe to like 140, all right? I just felt like it was way too much. There we go. We're like zooming in. Looks pretty interesting. And even on this one, you could zoom in. We could just zoom in overall. I don't think zooming in as we go makes sense for this clip, but maybe we just scale it in a little bit. We just make it a little bit different of a perspective. We're focused on that golf course. So yeah, it hasn't rendered yet. It's kind of choppy, but yeah, the focus is there on the golf course. And like this one, you could do, all right, let's try something different here. We'll start keyframe, we'll click here. And you can also do, rotation, position, all these settings. But maybe we start zoomed in. Actually, let's go back. Let's do position too. So you want a keyframe position. All right, so I'm gonna scale it in. So we're at the first frame of this clip. We're scaling it in. So we're gonna zoom out as we go. And then we're also going to adjust position so that it's more focused on the house there. And then we'll go to the last clip of this. So, and then we'll turn this back to 100. And then we'll turn this to 0. And then the Y to 0. All right, so now this is back to a regular clip. So let's see how this looks here. So it's zoomed in. Now it's zooming out as we pan around. I think that adds a nice little element. I think we need a little something between these last two shots. And I think it could be even a little bit longer. Since we're like zooming down, I don't want to, let's see, I wouldn't pick anything too drastic. What are some of these? We have a lot of different ones. But if you zoom in, I think we're towards the end of the video. We don't want anything, yeah, we don't want anything too drastic. So maybe this is one where you just do a, a cross dissolve or a fade. Let's see. Yeah, I think that looked good. And now from this one, let's do a fade to black. Let's see how this looks. So you could do because this one's a pretty drastic transition from day to night. I mean, you could do something crazy, but I think that looks pretty good. Just a simple fade to black. Let me shorten it up just to see it. No, that's too short. I think it was probably good. All right, Command L, we're coming back out. And now the ending with the agent's logo and their contact information. And let's move this Lister Pros a little bit. All right, that looks good. All right, so from the beginning, I'm gonna watch it all the way through again. What are we at? It's right around a minute. So we're coming in, blade speed. All right, we got a nice view of the home. All right, now we can kind of get an idea of the area of the home. And we see the home. Now we're coming out. Now from here, we got those mountain views. I mean, honestly, this shot right here may not be necessary because you got this shot right here. You can see the golf course is in the back. So I'm gonna leave it in there just because the views is a big part of this video, or a big selling feature of this home. It's probably overkill, but and another something that you can add to some of these shots. You saw how we have this zoom shot here. I'm not gonna get so much into sound effects here, but you can add a little helicopter noise or just something subtle in the background, some little sound effects, just to bring the video to life a little bit. And a lot of like zoom in and zoom out. You can do whooshes, just different whoosh sound effects. A lot of little detail things that you can do in the real estate videos just to make them stand out from other videos out there. All right, that looks good. Let me fade this off. Let me fade to color here on this. Yeah, I think it might look better fading off. It just looked kind of weird just transitioning. All right, we got that. Now we transition here. All right, that looks pretty good. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with this video. Outside of the colors are bad because of the time of day that we shot. Now we can come through here and see if we can adjust them. So we're gonna click on that triangle icon and go to color wheels. Now we might have to do a little bit messing. Usually I'm just messing with the midtones, bringing that up, but that's ridiculous. Right here is the exposure. You can mess with the exposure of the footage. You can also mess with the temperature if you feel like it's too warm or too cold. I think it's too warm, but I'm not gonna mess with it too much. Or you can just pretty much do the master, which is gonna increase everything. I think the yellows are too crazy for me, so I'm not gonna mess with it too much. So that's, what is that? Shadow saturation? I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan. I mean, you could spend you could spend hours messing with colors of footage if you really, really wanted to. But for what the video is and what we're charging for this video, or what we charge for our aerial videos, you know, I guess it just depends how long it's taking you to edit. Right now we're at 35 minutes, so if you have time, you can go through and kind of mess around. So this front shot, I'm gonna, let's see, I want to add a little bit of color. That looks bad though. Can I bring down the highlights? No, that looks bad. Bring down the midtones. That looks kind of, makes it look kind of dark. Does it look better? It might look better, honestly. This one is all about the time of day. All right, let's see what it looks like on the next clip applying. You know, it does give it a little bit more color. And usually if I adjust one clip, I'll adjust them all just so it has a similar look and feel. So this one right here has different colors. Usually when you're shooting aerial videos during the day, everything's pretty consistent. But this one looks a little dark. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I'll go ahead and apply this to the rest of the daytime ones. Paste. And maybe even this, I don't know if this is gonna help with this twilight. I mean, it doesn't look that bad to me, so let's just quickly scrub through this video to see if we messed anything up. I think that extra color really helped the golf course stand out. Oh, there's that one transition right here. We need to add something. So since I did a cross dissolve right here, I'll see how a cross dissolve looks right here as well. I mean, you could even do something a little more dramatic, go into that twilight shot where it's like closing up and then opening back up, but I think that looks pretty good. I mean, colors kind of bother me, but I'm not gonna spend all kinds of time coloring this footage. So anyways, from here we have pretty much everything assembled. I feel pretty good about the flow of our video. Now let's find a track for this home. And let's start from the top. I mean, I could see this track potentially working. This is a first track tried, so let's see how it looks. Hey, that was kind of on the beat right there. I actually don't mind this track for this home. Here, I'll turn it up in case you can't hear it. I liked it for most of it, except when it transitioned to that golf course shot. The golf course shot didn't seem like it really fit. It was pretty fast. But I think I could live with that. Alright, let's cut the music there. Bring it in here. Alright, that looks pretty good. But you'll see what I'm talking about here. You're just kind of cruising along. I just think the you know what, the keyframes are just too dramatic. Let's bring it. Let's change those. So let's go to our last keyframe and we'll scale it back. We won't go too dramatic. All right, 122 instead of 140. All right, let's see how that look. All right, I think that looked good to me. Footage looks kind of pixelated because it's not rendered out. But I think other than that one, watching that one golf course clip, everything else looked good to me. And I think the colors aren't perfect, but they're not terrible. We got everything done. And yeah, so from here it's just a matter of exporting it. This would be considered a branded version if we have the agent information on here. We usually like to deliver pretty much any of our videos a branded and an unbranded version. So we'll export this one to our Vimeo channel and we'll duplicate it, and then we'll remove the agent information and upload the MLS version. All right, guys, well, that's gonna do it for the edits on this aerial video. If you guys had any additional questions, feel free to reach out. We'll see you guys on the next one.